Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront updates and some more Star Wars gaming talk. Today we got an exciting new insider report from Tom Henderson in regards to the future of Star Wars games and some potential new projects and what Disney's plans are for Star Wars games, which I gotta say is very exciting. Before we jump into that, I just wanted to give a quick mention because I know a lot of people might be wondering, why don't you upload that much on this channel anymore? Well, in case you didn't know it already, I do have a second channel, a clips channel, where I create 60-second clips about pretty much everything Star Wars, both Star Wars gaming and or Easter eggs and basically everything that a Star Wars fan could enjoy. So make sure to head over to that channel if you want to see daily content. On this channel I keep it more to like big Star Wars gaming news and longer form content, and of course the live streams that I still do a couple of times every week. So I just wanted to give you guys an update on that in case you're wondering what's going on with me or the channel. I'm still around. I've just shifted a lot of my content and focus to my second channel because I find it a lot easier to be able to talk about all Star Wars stuff, and the reception on that channel has been phenomenal so far. So make sure to head over. The link will be in the description below. But now let's talk a little bit about this new Star Wars gaming report. So, according to Tom Henderson, who you probably know by now is a very legitimate leaker who has leaked of pretty much every franchise in existence, including Star Wars games in the past, posted a report saying Disney wants a new Star Wars game every 6 months. So his sources are now suggesting that Disney's plan is to release a new Star Wars game every 6 months. And this is one major AAA title and one smaller game per year basically. And so far we know of 8 Star Wars games that is in development. So let me quickly recap those before I move on to the second part of the report, where he actually mentions some other unannounced projects that could be in the works. So the 8 games we do know about, I guess first of all we of course had Jedi Survivor by Respawn Entertainment and Star Wars Hunters by Zynga, both of them scheduled to be released next year. So if they are planning to have 2 games per year, I mean those 2 are probably the games we're getting in 2023, as that's one AAA title and one smaller mobile title. On top of that, we got 6 more projects that we know very little about. For instance, Respawn Entertainment are working on 2 titles, both an untitled FPS game and an untitled strategy game. Those are fairly far out, I would imagine, as they were announced less than a year ago and we still have no details about them. Then we have the Knights of the Old Republic remake, which has been talked about a lot the last couple of months, as it was initially believed to have been cancelled, but it seems that the development have moved over to Saber Interactive now, but this remake is probably also a couple of years out. And then we have Star Wars Eclipse, which we've had a trailer for quite a while now, but according to Tom, this game is probably not going to be out until 2026. They seem to be having a lot of issues with the engine over at Quantic Dream. And then we have Ubisoft Massive's open world game, one of the games that I think is probably the next Star Wars game we are getting after Jedi Survivor and Star Wars Hunters, because it was one of the first non-EA Star Wars games they announced. And lastly, we have Amy Hennig's game and her studio Skydance Media, which we still don't know a lot about either. Tom then mentions later in the report that his sources are suggesting that there are several more Star Wars games in pre-development on top of these 8 ones, so that's a lot of Star Wars games to say the least. And that the one specific project that he has heard a lot of rumors about is actually a Mandalorian game, something that was kind of teased by Xbox era's Nick last year, but the tweet was then removed. But he's apparently heard rumors from multiple sources that there could be a Mandalorian game in the works, but he doesn't have anything concrete to share. So what does this mean for us? Well, overall I think this is good. Obviously, quality over quantity is very important, but I feel like the positive thing here is that they're spreading out the games between so many different publishers and studios that this could very well work. Like if EA were to create 8 Star Wars games in like 4 years, it would be rushed for sure. But now that EA has 2, Ubisoft has 1, Skydance has 1, etc, etc, it's very spread out, meaning that they can focus on that 1 or 2 games and really make them good without having to stress out for the next project. I mean, that still happens at studios, no matter if it's Star Wars or not, but I still think it was a very good move to spread all of these projects out in between all of the studios. But like I have iterated before, and also the response from the community to the article, for instance, is that there's still a multiplayer game missing. I mean, all of these projects sound really interesting, but it's always single player, single player, single player, single player. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't hurt squeezing in a multiplayer game. There's a huge gap to be filled after they shut down Battlefront 2, which, by the way, is still really active. Imagine what all those players would do if they dropped a new, updated multiplayer game. I would, of course, love to see a Battlefront 3, but a Battlefront spin-off would work. A Star Wars Battlefront Heroes vs. Villains game, a Star Wars Destiny-like game, a Star Wars Fortnite or Warzone-like game. There are so many projects they could do that would be a multiplayer game, a game that would live on beyond its release with new content, linking it into the new comics, series, movies, and all that kind of stuff. All the projects they keep announcing now feel like the kind of stuff that they will be like, hey, here's the game, buy it, play it for a week, and move on to the next project. And I really can't understand why we're not getting at least one big Star Wars multiplayer game, and that is definitely the one thing that I am missing the most from this list, although the future of Star Wars games does indeed sound very bright. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button or maybe even use that super thanks below. It really helps out with these videos. And let me know in the comments below, what are you most excited for when it comes to the future of Star Wars games? I would love to know. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.